What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, this is what Beast Wars should have been, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at DX9's Ancestrod, which I'm guessing is some sort of a statement that, like, this is the ancestor of Hot Rod. I don't know, but I kind of can dig that. This is him not armored up or anything. I just wanted to kind of give the basic kind of nuts and bolts of what he looked like. This is on loan to me from Robert D., dear friend of mine, co-host of 4 Dummies. So yeah, he does come with a fair bit of accessories, so I think we should probably go ahead and jump right into it. 4 of these, they're hip skirts and shoulder armor. These bits all open up here for a little extra doodads, if that's of interest to you. They all are made with this like sort of metallic fleck plastic, which looks good throughout the whole figure, honestly. It gives it a nice finish to it, and then the silver paint accents are added on. We'll go ahead and put that on and show what that looks like. And there it is. They go on these 2 hip flaps here, and then 2 ball pegs that sit on the shoulders. And I think it looks great, honestly. All right, we get 2 of these guns, which in this collapsed sort of shape can peg into his back on these 2 pegs or holes rather, right there on both sides, so that you can have this look. You have these 2 swords. One has the yellow translucent that kind of matches his fins on his back, and then the silver paint accent, and then the other one has the silver blade, and you can actually take their handles and interlock them together as like a giant sort of sword weapon, which he can hold, but it's not a real tight fit in his hand, so you kind of just have to adjust it as you continue to manipulate it. In beast mode, you can slide in your handle after you rotated it and have it like that, which is pretty cool. Now, you also get these 2 guns, which I guess he can hold individually, but they look cooler when you have the barrel kind of extended on your longer rifles, and then you plug it in here, and then that looks a bit sweeter to me. But it's totally up to you. And he will hold both. This one he won't hold great, but you can pull it off. And then utilizing those same tabs, you can plug in your longer versions of your rifles to the side of the thing in cat mode. Sheesh. All right, let's talk about the figure. And there actually is a lot to talk about. So the head is on a ball peg, which is a bit of a bummer. However, I do like the attitude that you can get with this guy. I do feel like the sculpt lends itself to those sorts of poses. Like the G1 look has a much more stoic, this has more attitude in it. So I like that. That's my chair. And then we have the metallic fleck plastic pretty much throughout. That does look pretty. And then there's paint finish. That one's chipping a little bit, but there's paint finish on the crest here, and then there's silver paint. The face, I think that's gray plastic, and then the eyes are painted blue. It's a phenomenal face sculpt. I don't know if you guys can really see that. Let me see if I can add a little bit more light to the... It's a phenomenal face sculpt. It looks great. The shoulders, so we have a hinge in here. This ball peg is not the greatest here. I'm just going to move it to the side for a second. So you can move this out on a double hinge here and then there. And then there's an additional hinge here, and then it also ratchets forward and back. So using all 3, you can get the arm all the way out, no problem. You can even get it further than that, all the way up almost. And then you can rotate it all the way around. The ratchets don't feel great in the shoulder, I'm just being honest. Like, it feels like you're grinding them down. They don't feel, it makes me a bit uncomfortable. So this, you can spin it here, just the tolerance on this ball peg is not good. The other ones are great, The other ones work fine. It's just that one that's not working too well, and then it swivels at the top. You do have a bicep swivel. And then detailings wise, you have this kind of silver paint up in there, and then you have this gray plastic that looks good, the yellow plastic on top that also looks good. And then you have an elbow that's ratcheted, and that ratchet feels great. And it's double jointed, but the main joint is right here, and then there's a little bit of extra give there, but you don't really get a whole lot out of it. And you get a little bit past 90 degrees maybe, so that's cool. Some of the paint is chipping, unfortunately. Nice gold chrome there. The paws, dog paws, have some silver, and then we have silver accents there, red metallic there, paint that looks good, but it is chipping a bit here and there. Yellow plastic, and then the wrists are on ball pegs, so you get the swivel, and then you get a little bit forward and back, a little bit up and down. So no real issues. Now, we have I guess it's a hinge here at the diaphragm, and that allows you to move the body, I'm trying to show you, forward and back. On top of that is just a swivel, it feels like. So you get the waist swivel and then the ab crunch. It's pretty smart. It works fairly well. Detailings wise, you get this yellow metallic, it feels like it's flecked plastic, and then you get this red paint on the body, and all that looks good. The translucent yellow there, and then some silver accents. The deco on this guy is beautiful. Moving down, you get these front flaps here that I'm not sure that you need them to actually be flaps, but and then some paint on there that looks nice. Universals for hips, all the way out, no problem whatsoever. All the way back, no problems whatsoever. There is it's not, let me see, this one's a little bit harder. And then there's also a hard ratchet out to the side. Now, if I move this hip skirt out of the way a bit, you can get pretty far. Not the full Van Damme, but you see that? Like, can you see that on that joint? Stuff like that just makes me a little nervous. I'm not sure if it's justified, but it just does, and I'm mentioning it. Thigh swivel, built at a cut joint, so that's fine. And then we have a double jointed knee that you really only need the one joint, but that gets you 90 degrees. However, can you hear that? It feels like it wants to be ratcheted, but it's not, and then this one isn't, which is a little strange, and there's a little bit of give in the joint, and it just doesn't give you a good feel. It makes it like a little, it's the one thing that makes it a little wobbly, is how these knees are done. Then you get the gold chrome, which looks nice, and then the red metallic down at the bottom, that all looks nice. And then for the feet, we have a hinge that gets you an ankle tilt down and up, and then this flap actually moves out of the way and comes down naturally. Now, that's because it's loose, I guess, but I like that. I honestly do. And then the toe, is there a toe hinge? No, but they do spread open on separate hinges there, which is pretty cool. And then you have a heel spur that I think they recommend you put up, but I've been putting it down for just a little extra stability. That's a die cast piece, and that's nice. And then a ball peg that goes into the foot that gets you a little bit of a rocker. The back is pretty nice. You have these two things which move around, which the guns clip onto that we saw. And then we have some silver paint on this translucent, which is nice. And you can angle the fins kind of as you'd like. And then there he is from the back. Not the prettiest, but I think it kind of suits the design. Yeah, I like a lot about this. I just don't know if it... For as well as it's trying to be built, I don't know if it pulls it off, unfortunately. Ain't nothing but a hot rod party. Look, I don't have anything that really suggests what scale this guy should be in, so there he is with every hot rod that I own, or version of that character, be it Rodimus or Hot Rod. Hopefully that helps you kind of find the right pocket for this fella. Let's get him transformed. So you want to kind of disconnect at this red piece here. That will allow you to get the animal head up and out of the way on that hinge there. And then you can bring these two side pieces up to kind of better encapsulate Rodimus's head. And then this comes back down. Then, using the shoulder joint, you want to rock that down at the gray into the lower position. Bringing the arm down, and then you unplug the paws, dog paws, and bring those around to cover up the fist. Same for the other side. We're going to rock it down, spin around, and then collapse the hand and bring the paws, dog paws, out to the front. Then we're gonna kind of get these arms out of the way, which will help you spin your fins back to the opposite direction. Then you can collapse, pardon me, goodness gracious, collapse them, and then slide that whole piece up, turn this piece around, and then unplug your tail. And I gotta clear my throat real quick. All right, then we're gonna do the thigh swivel 180. And on the opposite side, we're gonna open up these red pieces here on both sides. Make sure they clear kind of this whole area. So you wanna almost have them at 90-degree angles and not, you know, like a triangle. Not like a triangle, but like a circle. And then rock down the knees. And that's pretty much it. I'll get it cleaned up. We'll take a look at it. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't hate this. I think this looks really cool. I mean, you know, look, it's not the prettiest and I get that, but I still think it looks pretty cool. I mean, this is all armored up and stuff, but like to have these and like, I think this is a pretty impressive display piece. I honestly do. The articulation, we'll break down the kind of, you know, super destroyer mode here and take a look at the articulation, but I dig this. All right, so the head, you get the hinge up. It does break the sculpt up a little bit, but I think that's okay. Jaw open and closes, and silver paint on the teeth. The eyes look a little dead, but they are painted. They're just the shadow of the brow kind of covers them up, and then you got a little bit of here, you make them a little sad cat. Let's see, fins. You still get some spin on the fins if you like that. And does this open? Yeah, it's got to. Let me get a little. Yeah. So that's cool. I like the idea that, you know, somebody could ride up in there. You have, so this is supposed to tab in here, this top part, right? But if you don't have it tabbed in, you can get a little bit more extreme kind of shoulder range. If not, you're left pretty much to the same articulation of the regular arms in robot mode, with the exception of an ankle tilt down and a toe tilt down, but no rocker, which is a bummer. Shoulder pads obviously can rotate round, and then you still get the ab crunch and the swivel. Legs operate the exact same way, you know, except you can extend them, you know, and I don't know if you can bend them any further forward, not really. And then you get all the same ankle, you know, articulation in the tail, hinge. So you can get a little bit of expression out of that, and that's cool. Look, it's not the prettiest, and I get that, but I don't hate this. This does feel right to me in some weird way that I can't put my finger on. Tiger Tracks. Final thoughts wise, the negatives. The knee joints are my biggest complaint here. They're just a little wibbly wobbly and it kind of takes away from the support of the whole piece. Secondly, would be range of motion on the ankle rockers, both in robot mode and in cat mode. And thirdly is the paint chipping. There's a significant amount of paint chipping on this guy, which is unfortunate because the paint is beautiful. A lot of people say, like, you know, it's a necessity that paint has to be chipping left and right when you have a painted figure, but like that's not really the case. I've had plenty of transforming figures that have been painted and there's been no issue whatsoever. I'm not oftentimes it is the case, but it doesn't have to be. It has to do with the way the paint adheres, I would imagine. I don't know enough about that, but it's not as simple as saying because it transforms and it is painted, you're going to have issues. That's just not the case. The engineering is all good, little on the simple side, but you know what? It's okay to have a simple transformer here and there. Materials feel great. I love the sculpt work. I love the paint. I love the accessories and how cool the accessories look all of the time. You know what I mean? Like, they look cool in cat mode, they look cool in robot mode, all the little gimmicks and stuff that you can do with them create a nice playability that always seems to work. That's rare for me, I feel like, but this guy definitely pulls it off. There is a lot of hardware. The hardware's a little on the inconsistent side, but when it works well, it does work. There's nice accents, translucent pieces, chrome pieces, painted pieces, metallic flecked plastics, etc. Like, there's a lot of bells and whistles to this guy, and it works. I like this an awful lot. I really wish somebody would do like a, I don't know, some sort of reboot or relaunch for Beast Wars, like in this style, you know, and with the you know, some sort of, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that could make the Beast Wars fans happy and the G1 fans happy when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I would like to see like a different approach on Beast Wars done in this sort of look. I think it looks amazing. So yeah, it's a recommend for me. Just be aware there are a few issues, but I think those issues are easily ignorable for the positives that you do get here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.